Hi everyone, meteorologist Ed Valley here, taking a look at the long range today. Stepping in for John. Not a lot happening, not a lot changing, but we're going to talk about a trend towards warmer this week, and then we'll talk about a trend towards cooler in week 2. Winter ain't done yet. It's getting there, but it's taking its sweet time here as we get into March. So let's start it off just looking at the radar and satellite. Nothing happening. A lot of clear skies. You can see the snow cover on the maps far north, but a lot of dry time, a lot of areas not seeing much. The exception, parts of the Intermountain West and the Pacific Northwest seeing a decent storm moving on in. Now, the sensible weather pattern over the next 7 to 10 days or so is going to be one that starts dry and trends wetter, and that's all related to the upper level pattern. A couple fast moving systems close to the international border through the middle of the week. And then as we head towards the weekend, we're going to see a system develop here Friday night into Saturday, delivering some rain to the southern Midwest, in the eastern plains, a little bit of snow up in the northern belt, rain and thunderstorms in the Ohio Valley for Saturday night. And then that moves into New England for Sunday. But then another system follows on its heels. A little bit of snow in the Midwest, a little bit of rain in the Ohio Valley, and then another one behind it for the east for early the following week. So you look at the total precip between now and, let's say, Tuesday the 8th. And to me, this really tells us a lot. It tells us that we're having an active Pacific jet moving into the Pacific Northwest, but the plains continue to see a little bit less than preferred. Why is that? Well, this moisture comes into the West Coast, it hits the Rockies, dwindles east of the Rockies, and then picks up Gulf of Mexico moisture, and that's why we're seeing the enhanced rain from the Mississippi Delta up into the Ohio Valley. So it's all related, but you see a pretty significant area here, a good chunk of real estate seeing a 1/2 to 2 inches of rain over the next 8 days, right? If we add on another 2 days to that out towards day 10 through the end of the 9th, you get the same idea. You compare that to how that looks compared to normal, and you can see the upper Midwest above normal, the prairies above normal this week as well. And then you get down into the southern plains, like we were saying. That's where that dryness continues to be. So how is this related to the MJO, like I was saying, and how does that help us forecast what's coming? So we're starting off with the ridge this week, but notice by day 7, troughing moving into the west, ridging moving into Alaska. And what happens in weather? What goes up must come down, and then it must come up again. That's how it goes. And the result here will be troughing in the plains and Intermountain West, ridging near Alaska, ridging on the East Coast. So our friends along the East Coast should stay warm. You see day 10 here, the Southeast Ridge still going, but the troughing really taking hold in the plains and Intermountain West for the second week of March. And it appears to be a pretty cold week ahead. Now, by day 15, you notice the trough does overtake a lot of the U.S., still hanging on to a southeast ridge, but a lot of us could be chilly leading into the middle of March. Here's the 5 days leading into the middle of the month. The cold core is in the plains and prairies and Intermountain West, as we said. Warmth still along the southeast coast. Now, day 15 does offer a few clues. Notice we're going to watch this Alaska pattern. Once we start losing ridging here, the cold doesn't have much time left. And I foresee that happening in the 3rd week of March. And you can see it on our European weeklies as well. So I want to show those real quick. Then we'll show the how this all fares with respect to the MJO. But you see, around day 15, the trough takes over. But look at day 20. Still there. Look at day 25. Notice how the ridging leaves Alaska. And that's when we're going to start seeing the warmth start to return. By day 30, you see the ridging really start to take hold. Day 35, you get the idea. A much more typical La Nina March as we round out the month. So, MJO, we're in phase 4 right now, going 5, 6, 7. What does that mean? Well, phase 5, like we're seeing this week, 5 and 6 are warm. 5 and 6, both very warm. But look at 7. That's exactly what we're seeing coming up into the middle of the month. Cold west and central, warm still to the east. And as you can imagine, if you look at this, cold running into warm, what does that mean? Well, it means we're going to be pretty active. There it is, right? And that aligns exactly, or almost exactly, with week 2 precip too. Look at this. There it is. A lot of moisture. GFS agrees. Canadian agrees. Central and south, part of the belt here, we're going to be pretty wet, I think, into the middle of the month. So again, you see our 16 to 30, wet east, drier in the plains, warmer south and east, cooler north and west. That's what we see coming for the rest of the month. So that's what we got for you today. Have a great Monday, and we'll be back here later in the week with more information.